We're back with the Galactic Coast Power Hour, and we're here with Danny Balli of Iron Keel Strength.
2 L's equal a Y.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
And in the last segment, we talked a little bit about fitness and obviously about the gym, but the physical fitness actually saved your life as a diver. Would you care to share that story with us?
Well, yeah, because one thing that we left out is saturation diving. You are saturated, so usually it takes per 100 feet is 24 hours of decompression. So I was in 420 feet, so no matter what happens to you, well,
4.5 days before you can get to anybody on the outside world.
Right, and there's no doctors in there or anything like that. I had a crane malfunction on me, and I got my leg pinched in between two pipes, and
holy shit!
Yeah, pulled 20 tons on my leg.
20 tons?
Shit.
So, yeah, if you want to know the tensile rating of my leg, it's at least 20 tons.
Wow.
Dude, you should use that in an ad, right?
Right?
Danny, 20-ton legs by you.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, I was just like, actually, I might.
You can't say that. Yeah, I can.
You can have legs like mine at my gym.
I wouldn't recommend it.
So 20 tons coming down on your legs and deep underwater.
Actually, no, it didn't come down.
You
It's
said
like
in a
it
pinch.
pulled up. Yeah, it
In
pulled
a
up.
pinch, right?
Right.
So that means you have a leverage coming down and leverage coming up, right? You're in a pinch.
Because
one
it
was stationary,
right, but
and the
then-
other one had pressure on it.
Right.
So it should have sheared your leg off, right?
Well, the pipelines were connected, so I was in between two hard spots. So it was basically
Yeah,
scissoring.
but even if it goes
Yeah.
to catastrophic where it touches, I mean that severs, right?
What?
It's trying to move towards that other.
One would think.
Danny, 20 tons body.
I'm putting that on my next shirt.
Absolutely, man.
Welcome to Iron Strength Keel, tested by 20 tons.
I'm going to get to work on the logo for you.
Yeah, no, I like that. But yeah, it basically.
So what do you do under that situation?
Well, it basically degloved my leg from a little bit below my knee all the way to my ankle. There was nothing but bone and tendon.
Jesus.
So luckily, at that time, we were diving 3-man instead of 2-man. So there was a diver in the water, so he was able to get to me right away.
Oh, yeah, okay. So you had a bellman plus another diver.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a triple shift, right?
Right, well, yeah.
So you have this extra guy for safety because they figured maybe something...
for safety,
sketchy situation,
we're
right?
both working. So
Right.
But it is a lot safer because if
Head on a swivel, right?
right, well, because what happened was whenever the crane pulled 20 tons onto my leg, it's like those cranes are programmed whenever they hit their max tonnage to start slacking off.
Calibrate down.
Right, well, so the crane started coming down, and it took me with it, and my umbilical was underneath the pipeline.
Oh, fuck.
So, definitely. It killed my gas supply, and...
Now you're starving. Your leg's been smushed. You're starving for oxygen.
Actually, I went unconscious. I was just like, I'm going to sleep now.
Wow.
And I woke up to the bellman saying, come up on the crane. And it's just like, even whenever you watch the video of the accident, it's just like 1 minute you hear me like screaming my head off, and then all of a sudden you hear me not breathing.
Wow.
And it's just like I'm completely unconscious.
Involuntary. Everything involuntary.
Yeah. Well, luckily it didn't sever my hose because he was just like, come up on the crane. He came up on the crane. And as soon as the pipe got off my hose, I was able to start breathing again.
So this guy that was down there with you y'all had been obviously at least a couple of days down there together, right? Y'all were working in shifts. I mean, do you remember this guy for forever, right? I mean, this is... is that the kind of brotherhood that's developed down there?
It really is. I mean, well, like I said, you're trusting somebody with your life.
Sure.
It's the closest I can think to it is military, where it's just like if you're in a world of shit, that person's going to not worry about, all they're worried about is getting you out of there.
Sure.
And he was completely awesome about that. Dove in. And, I mean, his situation was probably one of the worst imaginable because he goes from...
He's going into bleak.
Right,
He's going into bleak to get you out of He's pull you to death.
Right.
Pull you from death. He's going into bleak.
And it's like we can hear each other. All he can do is hear me screaming. And the supervisor's just like, go take a look at him, see what's going on. And it's just like to hear somebody screaming their head off and then to be clear-headed enough to actually go in there and be like, I'm going to get this person out of there. I mean, he went in there level-headed, and I owe my life to the guy. I mean,
Christmas card list.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he is a really good friend of mine, but he was a good friend of mine because, like you said, it's a tight-knit community.
Right.
We barbecue together.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah, man. Yeah, that's awesome love right there when someone does that for you for real, man.
well, yeah, it really
You all
is.
live in a square-inch apartment underneath water together.
Yeah, we get really comfortable, that's for sure.
Right.
Hey, those are my nuts.
So so he got to you obviously because you're talking to us.
Right.
So what happened next?
And then after that, they drugged me back to the bell, and they picked the bell up to the surface, put it on the saturation system, and they had to lower me down into the saturation system with a block and tackle because I couldn't move.
Sure, like a chain fall, like they're cycling you down.
Right.
Right,
it's rope, but it's the same.
Human energy into mechanical energy to safely lower you down so that you're not in pain. Right, they're compassionate of your pain the whole time.
And
right?
No, not really.
So there was a doctor there.
I was just like, do you work for the oil company? Sorry, what's going on here?
And our new sponsor is. No.
But yeah, they lower me down.
Do you work for the oil company? Hey, this guy's got a church key. Church key.
On demand, even.
Right. I pick up
That's-
on signals. Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Well, we are brothers in brew.
But yeah, they lower me into the system, and we already had 3 guys decompressing.
Oh wow! It's already started the process.
Right, because that's whenever I came in, I was coming in to relieve 3 guys, and then the accident happened. They didn't make it to the surface because it's a 5-day ride to the surface for them also.
Wow.
And they didn't make it to the surface. We're 3 days into their decompression, and they were just like, Danny got hurt really bad. We're going to have to press you guys back down to depth. And they were just like, well, I mean, anytime a diver's hurt, everybody's just like...
Yeah, push me down.
Right.
That'd be the first thing I'd say, push me down.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, and it exactly was. One of them actually had to, stay back in and take my place. And he had already been down for 30 days, but he was just like...
That's a brotherhood sacrifice.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You got to make it sometimes, man.
Mm-hmm. The funny thing about it, though, is they lower me down, and at the time, my hot water suit was still intact, so we didn't know what we were dealing with.
Sure.
All we knew is it was really bad.
So it didn't... Your suit is what came closest to... So it never broke. The suit never broke. It just came back? Is that
No,
what
it
you're
wasn't the
saying?
suit. It didn't rip off. I don't know
Right.
why. It took off my boot.
Yeah, but like you're saying, you were still encased in the suit during the entire deal. So until you got to a place where they took your suit off, no one knew.
Was there blood?
How long
Did they
was that?
tourniquet? Did they cut the flow
Well,
off?
that's actually where it got really bad because it's like whenever I went to get up into the bell, it's like I went to stand up and just a bunch of blood poured out of my hot water suit. And the other diver two, or actually it was diver one, but diver one's like sitting there and he's just like, get him in the bell ASAP because all he could see was just a big cloud of red.
Man, and keep you from seeing it. That's instantaneous shock.
Right.
There. Instantaneous. Mm-hmm. No pause there. Boom. Ha!
But luckily, I don't know.
Dig. Boom.
Right. But luckily for me, once I got back into the bell, it quit bleeding.
Oh, yeah, okay, because you got pressure back into it.
I don't know exactly what the...
Something...
Yeah, just something happened.
Yeah.
Because I severed arteries.
Wow.
So I shouldn't even...
And lived to tell about it. Mm-hmm. That's crazy right there.
Yeah, they just...
That's crazy.
Lucky for me, they cauterized. I don't know why or how, but it's... I mean... But yeah, so it's like I severed arteries. They get me back inside, the bell. They pick up the bell, get it back on the system. They go to lower me down, and
there's 3 guys already thinking of how to get you to the surface. Right.
Well,
they're already prepping everything to get it going. Right.
And then they wake up everybody in the system. So
Boom,
everybody's just like, okay, we're getting ready to lower Danny down into the system. He's been hurt really bad.
Is there like a code red, code blue, code?
No, it's just wake your
code
ass
Danny.
up. Wake your ass up and get in the TL.
Yeah, they don't have anything fancy for us when there's like a service, something blow up in the middle of the night. We got to go save it. They're just like, hey, meet me at so and so address. It's like, we got a code red. We have a code red. ASAP. Meet at rendezvous point. No, it's not that cool.
No.
Usually it's like you hang up and go, shit, babe, I gotta go.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because it's like one of the guys that was like that dove before us. I talked to him all the time, and he was just like, I was pissed off because he was like, I heard the bell, because anytime you hear the generators go off, it's like, okay, they're getting ready to pick up the bell, and he's just like, those assholes just left, and he's like, shit, now I have to wake up. And then it was just like, no, you're waking up because Danny's hurt.
Wow.
I was worried.
And we're back. And when we last, where we left off, I believe you were struggling to survive. And I guess you're being, I guess you've been rescued. And you want to continue the story from there?
Oh, yeah. They had just got me back into the system, and it's like my buddy Billy Ludke can tell the story best, because he goes down and they're just like, we need somebody in the TL to catch Danny. What he didn't realize, because it's like, whenever you're coming down in the bell, all the water that like gets in there gets blasted into the chamber. Apparently I had been bleeding a lot. So whenever they go and they bust the seal for the chamber to lock back onto the system, Billy gets covered in my blood.
So all the water that's been keeping you alive...
No, it's all the blood.
The hot water, right, is covered in blood. It's full of blood, right?
No, we shut off all the hot water.
Oh, really?
Right. It was just like basically
so you
me
were
bleeding.
Filling up the lines with your blood.
Right. And then whenever he gets the seal, it looked like a horror show.
Fucking murder scene.
Yeah, he was basically covered in my... And he was just like...
Double homicide.
And Dexter all rolled into one.
Jeez Louise. Golly.
But and this is where it's like, I'll take Marines over Army. I was in the National Guard.
You're still conscious.
Oh, yeah. The whole time I'm still conscious.
Okay.
And they go to cut open my hot water suit to look at what's going on. Meanwhile, they're pressing up the decompression chamber to bring in the other guys so that way I can come out in that chamber so they don't have to bring up the whole system.
People are readying everything they have.
Right.
Everything they have.
Right.
Because they don't know.
No. Well, all they know is it's really bad.
Murder scene.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then the bad part is like the first guy, because we're all diver medics. So
right. You all have to be trained equally. Right.
Right.
We
I
all
can only imagine the amount of
right.
Well, it's just an EMT
even in a
course.
2-man dive, that way both of you are ready to save each other's life.
Right.
But in a 3-man team, it's the same. It's equal. Everybody's trained in the same.
Well,
right.
The first guy to cut open my hot water suit, I'm just like looking over, and it's like I've got 2 DMTs with me, diver medics. So one's cutting it open, the other one's asking me about the accident, obviously trying to get my mind
distraction off of what is about to happen down below you.
It's like whatever the guy cuts open my hot water suit, I see his eyes get the size of ping pong balls, and he's just like, oh shit. And I'm just like, your bedside manners
Poker
sucks.
face.
Yeah. I'm just like, really? Come on, man. And then the guy that's talking to me is just like, he's like, come on, man. And then he walks over, looks at it, and he's just like, oh, shit. And I'm just like, God damn it, you guys suck. And, but
do you remember that George Carlin joke?
Yeah, exactly.
Bad shit, bad shit.
But luckily we had a U.S. Marine, and this is the only time.
Thank God for the Marines. Semper Fi, do or die.
Yeah, exactly. And he was... Not a diver medic, but he was
Corpsman?
Yeah, well, no, he was a combat medic.
Oh, okay.
So, or not a combat medic, but a combat lifesaver. So they basically aid